You are a slave to somebody because they control your reality. If
Finna send his ass to heaven, send a message to my credit. Tell number 5 to the end, boy, I love you. October 25th, yeah, left me with a struggle. The good and evil in my soul, it left me with a tussle. Pissing on my hands, nigga, when I leave the scene.
you're tap in. See, this a new segment that I'm gonna do on my YouTube is gonna be called the rabbit hole. You feel me? And what we gonna do is we gonna go ahead and get deep into that. Yeah, you feel me? All right, so check it out. I've been researching some shit called Project Looking Glass. You feel me? And on Project Looking Glass, I done came across a couple whistleblowers. We're gonna stop, we're gonna tune in, and we're gonna listen to what the whistleblowers have to say about Project Looking Glass and make a whole lot of sense of what's going on right now. What they talking about CERN, where we got the wars going on, we got the Jabby McJabberson of all Jabbersons. We got that coming out, and we got some other stuff that's coming out. All this coming back to back to back. Why? That is the question. Why? It is something that needs to be answered because every cause has an effect. There has to be a cause for these effects to be happening in order that they're happening, right? I think Project Looking Glass might answer that question for y'all. Let's go ahead, let's stop doing all this talking, and let's go ahead and see what these whistleblowers talking about.
Let me put it in terms that it's easier for me to say and not have to go into the details of how I know, but just that I know. I'll present it to everybody very simply. What could be so important at Area 51 that would require the level of secrecy that is in existence around that facility? One of the caveats
What?
I do have
I
some
wonder
personal
what.
information that I did get personally involved in was some information that had to do with the Stargates and Looking Glass.
Project Looking Glass had to do with time, any effects of time in the craft. Now, I don't think we're not talking about making a time machine like in science fiction, but we're talking about, small distortions, intentional distortions of time, and how that can be used. The point was that one of two things. Either there's a gravitational envelope in there which negates any inertia effects, or you are seeing through a gravity distortion field. So, just like you're looking at a hot highway and you see, an optical distortion going through there. Well, the same thing happens in gravity, and the craft may not actually be moving like that. It may just look like it because you can only see it through the field. So it may be making much more gentle moves. I'm not saying that's it, but it has to be one of the two.
It's like,
Okay, so check it out. This is what he's saying. Let me break it down for the people who didn't get what he said, because he did say a lot of big words. Basically, what this man just said is that people are basically astral projecting into a different timeline, either in the future or the past, so they can see what's going on. That is basically what this man just said out of his mouth. Now let's get back into the video.
the Wicked Witch, looking into the, magic mirror and always getting the same answer. Well, if you were always getting the exact opposite of the answer that you wanted, you'd stop talking to the mirror. And that's essentially what happened with Looking Glass, is no longer, not only did they not want people to use it anymore because they knew it was just going to burp out the same thing, but at the same time they didn't want anybody else to know what it was saying. I'm sure.
What was it saying?
Because,
that they would lose control.
because that information was a monumental concern when I was in the military about how to prevent this inevitability. Now, at first I thought it was end of the world. Now I see end of the world as end of their world.
End of their world.
An inevitable event.
The end of their world. You get what I'm saying? This is the age of Aquarius, the age of knowledge. So the reality that they had us up under is now getting swept from up under their feet. You feel me? Now we are becoming gods and goddesses. We are creating our own reality. No, I don't want to work no 9 to 5 my whole entire fucking life just so I can be 70 years old. I got what, $100,000 to my name. You feel me? When that's gone, I done spent my youth, majority of my youth, at work. What the fuck do I look like? And that's the mindset that we having to this day, is that we don't want to work for nobody our whole entire lives. The fuck? Nigga, we trying to become entrepreneurs and we trying to go live off the grid, go live in nature. What are you talking about? I'm trying to go be with the birds. Tweedle to tweet tweet. Fuck. But yeah, let's go ahead and get back into this little video, man.
It's been forecast, it's been predicted, it's been fed to us in a slop trough of what they want us to believe will happen.
But they don't
However,
know.
they don't actually have control over what happens.
Okay.
They only have control over the reaction, and it seems that no matter what they try to do to cause their desired reaction, it's going to have an opposite effect.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's going to have an opposite effect.
Much, much easier for me to explain
It's going to have an opposite
today
effect, gang.
what that process is as opposed to back then. But if I had to give it a name, I would say it's the awakening process. It's an evolution of consciousness that cannot, will not, and no matter what decisions or possibilities are injected into the equation, eventually it all resolves down to us all learning the truth and becoming aware of.
Did you hear what he just said? We're all learning the truth because why? This is the age of Aquarius, the age of knowledge, the age of truth. They cannot stop the truth.
This massive dam of lies that has been built that keep us from knowing massive volume of information that we should otherwise possess. I could convince everybody out there that for all intents and purposes, what we believe to be true eventually becomes true. If somebody convinces us that a major disaster is going to happen in the very near future, a major disaster happens in the very near future. If we don't buy into that fear and accept that there's really nothing that we know is going to happen, and accept of whatever happens, that makes the convergence of the timelines happen as naturally as possible.
What happened to COVID? What happened to the jab? What happened to this Ukraine war? We stopped giving a fuck, stopped giving our energy into that shit, and now they trying to do whatever they possibly can in order to shift us out of this reality that we're going in. They're trying everything in their power. They coming out with the monkeypox. They coming out with all kinds of shit. Breaking out here and there, left and right. That's why so much going on right now. They trying to stop us from creating our own reality. Now that's something crazy.
Timelines happen as naturally as possible. Any attempts to try to go away from this one inevitable conclusion, I again see as a new beginning, an end of this reality, the beginning of something that we can't even possibly understand based on the level of our beliefs currently. But when all that information comes flooding out, there's going to be no denying what's true and what's a lie or what's illusion. As far as advanced intellectual abilities, as far as simple intelligence levels, and cognitive skills of the human race has increased exponentially in the past 20 years. And people that were 10 years old in 1991 are now 30 years old and fully awake and conscious of this burning inside that says, I am a lot more than what I see in the mirror. A certain element of pain that we can reduce by just not accepting that we don't have choices in the matter. And sitting back and waiting for the aliens to fix everything isn't going to help.
Absolutely.
If we are inevitably coming to a rise in consciousness, we should start trying to elevate our consciousness as fast as humanly possible.
Elevation.
And make that transition a lot easier when it comes.
Meaning, they are trying to stop us from elevating because they see what is coming. They know who we truly is. They know that their time is coming to an end. They already know it, baby. Let's go get into this other video, though. So we can. I'm trying to talk to y'all. I'm really trying to talk to y'all. Let's go get into this other video.
So I found out something new about Operation Looking Glass and what relevancy it has with Q. So this is what the machine looks like according to whistleblowers and having an artist make a CAD design.
Okay.
This is what it looks like with 3D modeling.
Okay, now that look like some shit right there.
By
That
far
look
the
like
most
some
interesting
shit right
detail was one of the names on the schematic that the whistleblower made. Don't know if you could see it real well, but right there it says Alice's Floor.
That's a patent. I think that's a
and
patent.
if you remember,
think that's
this
patent.
project is called Looking Glass. Remember hearing the phrase Alice through the looking glass?
Sound like Alice in
Now,
Wonderland.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Q mentioning Alice in Wonderland
Okay.
quite a few times, referring to it in low-key ways and sometimes just saying it.
Okay.
But I think he's referencing this machine.
Okay. You think he referencing that machine game? I think we have one more video. Let's get into it.
This also goes into Project Stargate. They need a remote viewer to do this,
Okay,
to
Project
tap into
Stargate.
the looking glass. So what you're seeing right now is the past light cone and the future light cone, and time is basically linear in this aspect, is the past and the future. Now the thing about this is that the observer is outside of the time cone.
Okay,
So the reason why we're even able to observe this timeline is because the observer is outside of time.
Okay.
Are you saying this timeline right now, right here?
Yes, but our consciousness, our observer self, is not linear with this timeline. So we're able to perceive other timelines by projecting our consciousness into such technologies because we are outside of the timeline. So let's say I'm simulating a game right here. They only exist in the game because they're programmed in the game. They can't see outside the game, you see, but we're different. We're outside the game, projecting inside the game.
Gotcha. Okay. What's interesting though is, as you described, there's that duality in life. We are simultaneously the projector and the projectee, and we've seemed to forget that we are the ones that are projecting this. We're the ones that are observing.
What do you think the possibilities are? What do you think you would do, Sean, if you had time itself at your disposal?
They're losing the power, gang. Do y'all understand now? They're losing the power, so it's starting to add up while all of this is happening. They're talking about wars. What happened to COVID? I thought we was going into a second lockdown. What happened? We didn't give a fuck. That's what happened, nigga. We stopped giving a shit. What happened to Ukraine war? We didn't give a fuck. What happened to monkeypox? We didn't give a fuck. So what happened? That was not manifested in our reality. We have to manifest the reality of peace and love. Once we manifest that reality of peace and love, baby, you already know we shifting into that reality. It's the Great Awakening. They can't stop that Great Awakening. You know, they can't stop the Great Awakening. That's what Project Looking Glass was all about. The Project Looking Glass was them going into the future. They tried to see what was going on in the future. As they went into the future, they seen that the people rose up. It is in all of the prophecies. The apocalypse, that's not the original definition of the apocalypse. The original definition of the apocalypse means some shit like this civilization fall and another one evolves. It has happened numerous times in history. Look at the ancient Native Americans. Their civilization fell, and guess what? America motherfucking rose, nigga, about the ashes of another civilization. So now what we have to understand and comprehend is that this one is falling, and the civilization that we going in is peace, love, and light. And if you not peace, love, and light, when we go through this retrograde or this solar flare, whatever big event that's gonna happen, that happens. When that event happens, if you not peace, love, and light, then you can't be in a new reality, because you gonna get stuck inside of somebody else's reality. You are a slave to somebody because they control your reality. If somebody control your reality, that means they are your slave owner. They went from physical slavery into now modern day mental and spiritual slavery, because they can control your reality. Once you control or can control your reality, you are now a god and you are now a goddess, because you can control your own reality. You feel me? And they know that and they understand that. Back in the days, our ancestors was still manifesting reality where they was free. And some of them manifested a reality where they was free so bad or so good. I wouldn't say bad. Matter of fact, they manifested their reality to the point where they ran up north to where they was free. That's how they manifested their reality where they was free and a free person. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna need y'all to go sub, you feel what I'm talking about? We gonna keep doing these topics. Y'all wanna see me keep doing these topics on YouTube. Going to the rabbit hole. I'm gonna need y'all to sub, like, share, comment, subscribe, do whatever.
This shit just got sticky like you peanut butter jelly. I be trying to eat, I need some food, bit my belly. Gotta watch out for these niggas, they be thinking that they nilly.
That's all I believe.
Choppy, it go ooh, ooh, hit 'em with a blues clues, so I can beat your ass and I'ma post the shit on YouTube.